Welcome back to Elevation 44. I'm your girl B. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. So we are diving into part 2 of the April astrology report. So this has been a very interesting month so far. We've had a lot of energy. We had that Mercury retrograde in Aries kick off the start of the month. And then we went right into this solar eclipse, and that was interesting. And I think honestly, between the retrograde and the eclipse and just all the other things, I have just been out of it. Like, I'm here, I'm present, I'm doing the things, but I'm not doing the things because the things aren't really moving right now. But I hope that you've been having a good month so far and that you're ready to get this download for the second half of your month. I wanted to get this out sooner, but I got sick. I was traveling and then I got back and then I got sick the week of the eclipse, and I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. Did you get sick during the eclipse week? Like, I started feeling weird the day of the eclipse, and then the next day it just hit me, and I was in bed for like 3 days straight. And I am feeling much better now, but I don't know what that was. I think it was a combination of a cold and allergies and who knows what else. Just the energy in the air. But if you got sick, let me know down in the comments below, because I know it was a weird week for a lot of people. But we left off on April 19th, which is when the sun moved into the sign of Taurus. So that's where we stopped in the last video. And we're going to pick that up right back into it. And we're going into April 20th. And the reason why I wanted to start here or stop the video at the other part was because this is the biggest day of 2024. You gotta be under a rock if you haven't heard about it by now, especially if you're into astrology or, all things spiritual. And this conjunction is one that doesn't happen too often, which is why a lot of people are making a big deal about it, because it happens every 14 years. And that's one thing. The second thing is it involves Jupiter. And Jupiter is always going to be expanding upon anything that is present. And Jupiter is known as the great benefic. So it brings a lot of abundance, a lot of good energy, a lot of good vibes, a lot of excess for good and for not so good. But Jupiter is just known as that jovial, like lucky, happy, just expansive energy. And Uranus is known as the planet of change and like sudden revelations and turns and twists. And our society loves a little bit of drama, and Uranus brings that drama. For better, for worse, it brings that drama. And it has been in Taurus for a minute now. It has been in Taurus, just changing all kinds of things when it comes to our earthly resources, our money, our values, what we think as a society. It's just been doing all kinds of stuff. The weather patterns. Uranus in Taurus has just been like this. And a good example of Uranus in Taurus, especially when it comes to something as foundational as changing like the resources and things, you look at money, right? And how it's making this transition from a very physical, tangible currency, something that you can hold, touch, smell with your hands, into it being kind of like, what is this? It's like credits. We get credits on our account. We work, we get the deposit. Like, you never see, touch, smell, or taste the money, right? Like, I mean, you won't taste the money, but you know what I mean. It is a really good example of that, and how we've transitioned from like being so cash focused into now it being about digital currency and crypto. And we could see how like the whole swing with like digital currency and the crypto market and Bitcoin and all of that has really gone up and down, especially as Uranus has been going through the sign of Taurus. That's one example. Our food is another. There's just a lot of different examples that we can point to. But what happens when these two meet up? Uranus is already doing all of this stuff, and Jupiter's coming in. And Jupiter, like I said, it expands anything it touches, for better or for worse. And with Uranus already there, this conjunction, these two together, is just going to just like, you know, explode whatever is already so, and make the wildness of Uranus even more so. So things can be even more unpredictable. Things can be, you know, expanded upon in great ways. You can come into large sums of money. A great windfall can come your way because, like I said, Uranus is unpredictable. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, sometimes it's sideways. It comes to bring change. And another thing that has been happening is all these revelations, all these truths, all these shocking things that are coming to the surface, information, things that we didn't know, and we're just finding out, like, what? Say what now? And Jupiter is expanding upon that. It's making that even more prevalent. But this is a day that is said to be auspicious because Jupiter is auspicious. But like I said, it can go either way. It can go very favorably and it can go unfavorably. Like, it just really depends. But we're going to keep our mind in the positive side of the things, and, you know, we're just going to capitalize on the favorable times, because this is, I mean, it's a good time to be alive, all things considered. It's a good time to be alive. It really is dependent on your perspective and how you are looking at life, the lens in which you are looking through it. And so this day, I want you to do whatever, you know, your magic is. Put out that good vibes, good intentions into the universe, and just sit back and, you know, allow it to unfold and receive. You know, we are still in a Mercury retrograde, on the tail end of that, which we'll talk about in a second, but this is a great day for just expanding upon things and putting out those good intentions that you want to grow and you want Jupiter to take to the next level. Look at where Taurus is in your chart, right? Where are these two meeting up in your chart? What house? What house is it in for you? Because that can give you another level of insight of the things that could reveal itself, change, go up, go down, go sideways, go left. It's all about, you know, sudden shifts and changes. It's the revolutionary. It is the great awakener, and it comes to push us forward, to advance us. And so this area of life is where you could be advancing very rapidly, whether that be your career or your family or your own personal self, you know, or your money or different things like that. So look at your chart and see where the changes are happening for you. But all in all, great day. Mark it on your calendar, star it, circle it, highlight it, 420, okay? And for my smokers, it'll be easy for you to remember this one, all right? Moving on, April 21st, okay? We have Venus conjunct Chiron. All right, Venus, our love, our values, our self-worth, our resources, all the good stuff, right? Pleasure, all of that stuff. And then you have Chiron, the wounded healer. And Chiron is like our deepest wounds, those lessons. So what are those lessons and wounds that are coming up at this particular time? Those around self-worth, those around your relationships. All of that stuff is coming to the surface. Now, with that, this conjunction is kind of going to give you a better appreciation for some of the lessons that you have gained, some of those wounds, those battle scars that you have from those relationships and those self-worth and self-value lessons. Like, you're gonna have a greater sense of appreciation for the things that they taught you about yourself and how it made you show up for yourself, or revealed to you how you had to show up for yourself in a different way. You also, under this energy, not only are you looking back, you're looking forward and looking at the present, and you're finding healing in your present relationships and circumstances. So this is actually allowing you to kind of put on a new lens and just kind of see things differently, not really be in the victim mindset. But these things are coming up to the surface. You can feel, you know, a little bit emotional, a little bit touchy, a little bit, you know, just in the feels because of these things coming to the surface. But they're there to inform you because you are worthy. You are worthy no matter what. No matter what you've been through, no matter what you've done, you know, you are worthy. So what have these things taught you? and how are you finding healing in your current circumstances? All right, so moving on, April 23rd, we have another full moon, and this is in the sign of Scorpio, and it's at 4 degrees. 4 is the number of stability, foundations, okay? It's that builder. I'm a life path 4, so I know a lot about this number. And this Scorpio full moons are very intense. The moon is said to not be in its best state when it's in Scorpio because it's really dark. It's very moody. But I like a Scorpio moon because yes, you have like some of the things with like its darker side, its possessiveness, it's, you know, it's jealousy. It brings a lot of the darker aspects, those Plutonian aspects of ours up to the surface, but it also brings other great Plutonian aspects up to the surface, like our drive, like the things that we want. It helps us also see beneath the surface and get beneath and into the psyche of how we think and operate, how other people think and operate. It really gets to the depths of things. So I like it. It's like a discovery. It's like the detective that, you know, goes through and tries to figure out and find things and discover things and put pieces together. I love a good Scorpio moon for that. And the magic. You know, this is tapping in a little bit more into the darker energy, the darker side of it, but that doesn't have to be a good thing. It's a very powerful energy. So great for manifesting, great for like doing rituals, doing all kinds of stuff. So I love a good Scorpio moon, to be honest, but this one is square Pluto. We just talked about those Plutonian tendencies. So this moon can be a bit destructive, honestly. It can lend itself more compulsive or destructive behaviors if you're not very careful. It's very easy because the moon is very emotional and has us getting, you know, swept up in that particular lane. So this can kind of bring out the darker aspects of ourselves, those shadow aspects. So anything that's buried, any your feelings or anything that you have not, again, those deeper layers of your psyche, the things that need to be uncovered will likely come up, are exposed during this time. So controlling behaviors, intense emotions, intense reactions, but getting them out of your subconscious, seeing them, pulling them up, viewing them, examining them, naming them is what is ultimately going to lead to your healing. So dive into those subconscious thoughts during this time. There could be a lot of power struggles in your relationships with your family. There can also be family secrets being revealed or things of that nature coming up. So there can just be a lot of little messiness, real messiness around this moon. But again, if you know what to look for, if you know what to expect, you know how to deal with it, okay? But could be a very positive time to transform yourself, transform your relationships, and really, you know, tackle those emotions and those things that you're suppressing. Moving on, April 25th, somebody get the bullhorn. Boop, boop, boop. I don't even know if that's the sound for it, but Mercury is going direct, okay? So Mercury retrograde is over, but we'll be dealing with some lingering effects of it, obviously, but like the bulk of it, whew, gone, wiped out. Like, I'm ready for it to be gone and over because it has really felt stagnant and slow at times. I understand and I appreciate it, but sometimes you just like, oh my God. But yes, Mercury is still in Aries and it is going direct. So know that you can now start to proceed and things will start to go forward a little bit better and push forward in things that have felt stagnant for you. On March 29th, we have Mars conjunct Neptune, okay? So this energy, Mars is our passion, our fire. And we also have Neptune, which is our idealism, our imagination, our spirituality. When these two come together, this can make you feel really passionate or put a fire under your behind about your creative pursuits, about your spiritual pursuits. So if you've been wanting to like dive more into developing some of your creative talents or getting into projects or moving something along that you started that you weren't able to get off the ground or you got stuck on creative wise, or on the spiritual end of things, developing stuff, getting more into spirituality, diving into different, this is like the energy for all of that. You can be putting a lot of energy behind that stuff. It also makes you feel romantic and sensual, so you can be feeling the feels and the good vibes and wanting to be all cupcakey. Is that still a word? Like, you know, just really just in that flow, right? And romantic and sensual can be with yourself too. It doesn't have to be with someone else, right? This can also make you really, really sensitive, this energy. Sensitive to energy, sensitive to illusions, delusions, paranoia, also just other things like substances like drugs, alcohol, anything that puts some type of like effect on your body that kind of gives you that different feeling, that illusion, that different vibe. There's a word I'm looking for, but I can't find it right now. But you guys get the gist, okay? So you got to be careful with this one because of that sensitivity and the fact that your actions can be driven by kind of your imagination or your delusion in not a good way sometimes. So just kind of, you know, be mindful of how you are operating under this. But on the other side of it, there's a lot of benefits that can come out of it as well, all right? And the next thing up on April 29th is Venus. And Venus is moving out of Aries into Taurus. And Venus in Taurus, this is my favorite Venus placement. If you've been with me for a while, you know this. I rock heavy with Venus in Taurus because Venus is at home in Taurus. Venus rules over Taurus and Libra's energy, but Taurus is the feminine expression of Venus, right? Whereas Libra is the masculine expression of Venus. But with Taurus, it really focuses a lot on our physical senses. So this is engaging all the senses. Every physical sense is just heightened during this season and during Venus and Taurus. And so it's about being comfortable. It's really the best expression of self-care energy, slowing down, savoring all the moments, just all the pleasurable things. Good things like sleep. Like if you have been lacking sleep and you just want to take, this is good napping energy. Good to just schedule a random nap in the afternoon or a random nap just to get into a really good bedtime or nighttime routine. You just nurture yourself. You get that cozy cup of tea. You get that good book. You just get in the corner and you just, you know, yes, that's that energy. Venus and Taurus is all about that good food, trying new recipes, just nourishing your body, taking care of yourself. It's about amping up that self-worth on 1,000. I wouldn't say, like, Venus and Taurus is not one to throw its money away, but on the things that matter, like those luxurious experiences that make you feel good about yourself or just feel very pleasurable, yes, take my money. Yes, I want this. I want this item. I want this experience, whatever brings me that sense of pleasure. So those good candles, you know, those nice candles that you have to splurge on, or that cashmere blanket that you get to, you know, wrap up in at the end of the day that just feels so good on your skin, or like that luxurious, I don't know, bath oil that you didn't need. That's Venus and Taurus, okay? But also good on the side of like long-term financial planning. So it's like a weird dichotomy going on there. But yes, take advantage of the vibes, okay? Go frolic in the field of flowers. Go lay out in the sun and let it be on your skin and just soak in everything that stimulates those senses. Now, last thing I'm going to mention for the month of April, which is on April 30th, we have Mars moving out of Pisces into Aries. So Mars is going to officially be in Aries, and this is a good use of Mars energy because Mars is at home in Aries, okay? So we're out of this Mercury retrograde. We've just had this Jupiter and Uranus conjunction, getting all mixed up, but Jupiter and Uranus conjunction is just all in the air still. Mercury retrograde's over. We're moving forward on certain things, and here comes Mars in Aries, and this just says go. Like if things have been stagnant, Mars in Aries brings all the energy, okay? So like I said, it's at home here, so expect high energy levels, more movement, more exercise. You just can maybe even need less sleep. You feel energized, you feel ready, you want to go tackle and do all the things and push, and you have the energy and drive to push things forward, okay? So this is a great time for taking action, for initiating, for, again, moving things forward. This is really good energy for being decisive, like taking action and moving quickly on your intuition. So not necessarily like lingering to make decisions, to do things, just like, you know, just leaning into your intuition and making that quick decision. Spontaneity, adventure. This is where all your energy and your passion and the things that you're passionate about get a boost too under this energy. Look at where Aries is, or Mars in Aries is going through in your chart, what house, because that can be picking up a lot of the boost. But overall, like, your energy level can be high on everything. It really just depends, right? You'll be feeling bold, confidence in what you're doing. You could be innovative under this energy. I don't know what's going on with my words today, but innovative, simplicity. You focus more on simplicity. Less is more, but you're doing the things, right? And you can be feeling competitive. So healthy competition's great, but remember, the only real competition you have is yourself at the end of the day. And then you also just want to be careful, because this can lead to impatience and being quick-tempered, or, you know, that pop-off energy. That's never far too. So, you know, if you feel like people are kind of getting out of pocket, or you find yourself having a little less patience, it could be because of this energy as well. So that is April in totality from an astrology perspective. And I think we're being set up to go into a really good May, honestly, with all of the vibes and the way that this month is ending. It started off a little rough, but listen, it has smoothed out at the end. And so I'm excited to dive into May and see what May holds for us. So, you know, I hope you found this helpful, and you are going to bang out, rock out the rest of your April, and just be really excited and pumped to jump into May. Happy Taurus season, because by the time you watch this, we'll either be close to Taurus season or in Taurus season. So happy Taurus season, happy going after the things and doing what you have to do. So I will see you all in the next video. Have a good one. Peace.